Essentially, what this next piece is UI UX. We're going to the user interface here needs a lot of cleanup, and so we're going to put in some improvements into the interface and possibly reorganizing items to make a more fluid user experience. So let's dive right in. This is a key component to theme implementation. The first, essentially, you break everything as you put in the new static assets, the new CSS styles, and the new JavaScript that governs the site. And a lot of the HTML structure that was in place on the last theme is now askew in the new theme hierarchy. And so we need to go and adjust the elements so that things settle in nicely. Okay, let's start by putting this button in a row below here. I've got one up here anyway, so that'll be an easy place. So here's where the button is, and we can keep it in the same container. We'll just put in another row. In fact, we only need this other row if there's a button here. So no need to make a blank row for every user except for admins. Okay. Alright, so that cleans up that. Now, let's refresh. No, that's not refresh. Okay. Now this needs some more spacing. And I think this is likely best done if we target this section in particular. So we want to change how these cards behave in the blog context. So let's give this section an ID. Now we can target these cards in there very easily. So if I refresh this, so it has the, now if I make a new rule, and I don't want to change all cards, I'll probably use them in other places, but blog cards, and now I can, like, I don't know, margin, okay, so 50 pixels is probably too much. Let's try 25. I don't hate it. And it'd be cool if we had like a hover effect too. So there we go. I targeted the cards, and so now you get this shadow effect on them. But we want that to ease in, so we want transition for all to ease in out over 2 seconds. 2 seconds is way too much. 0.5 seconds. Cool. Alright, so now I need to copy these styles and drop them into my custom CSS. And I'll make a new section for the blog. Now what I could do, if I can edit this section and get rid of some of the extra spacing down here that isn't present down here, Though probably most people won't see this button, so it'll be more even. But I still think this is perhaps a little unnecessary amount of space. But I could also add in a little bit more information, the subtitle that doesn't show, the author, when this was posted. So I can add in a little bit of detail here, and maybe even turn the whole card into a link, and not just this read more button. But those are relatively small changes. At the moment this is functional, and that's all that Flaskini is supposed to provide, is just base level functionality that you can build on however you'd like. So I think I'll leave it as is, maybe iterate that later. What I want to do right now is clean up this individual article template. Alright, first of all, let's make this article breathable, give it some more space, and the image, let's just put that in its own column. And shoot, we could go full screen with that. It would be cool if the image on the blog article was inside the header. When I build a header for helpers, the header goes right here. There used to be an image in the original header that's here on the home page. There's an image that goes right there. I wonder if we could put that above the image inside helper. What if we had a different header that had an image in it? We could call it header with image, real original. And now the image, however, would have to vary. The file name would have to be, let's just call it file, and I'll have to pass it here. So when you build this, you have to specify which file you're looking for, and the alternate is article image. You can just okay, so I think that should work. Now, how can I pass the... Okay, I should have looked at this from the beginning. I have the image source here that the article loads up. In the original, it has the whole source here. So this whole source business, I don't need to look up anything at all. I just have source is just a file. Okay, so now instead of calling import header, you can do import header with image, and I'll call this method, and here I will pass this source. Oh, can I? No, I just post image. But I actually want to load the original if I don't have an image. So if I do have a picture and load this one, else if I don't have a picture, load the original header just with the title. and no image. So I need to load the other one too. Oop, I have to change this. This is actually just a string file. I have to tell Jinja to turn this into a template. Okay, so now it loads like that. Kind of a big picture on the blog post, but if you choose a big picture, that's what it gets. Wonder if I like it. So we have that, and I made another header helper, and it shows here. It's not marked down actually. That still works, right? Yeah. It was marked down because the last I was using a previous field. I've replaced that, and so that's one dependency that I can actually start to phase out. And I notice if I get rid of, if I shrink down the padding a little bit, and on the image here, if I take it out of the container, so I drop this div container on this one, and if I combine that with some change, I can get this to be pretty much the full screen with very little effort. Okay, so with that there, now my blog page looks like this. This article, did I bring this one up to 10 as well? Yeah. And post, bring this from 6, bring that one up to 10 as well. I think this is the last, the form itself is the last one I need to format. So I have blog, individual article, and now it's just, if I edit this, I want this to clean up a little bit. Bringing it up to 10 helps a lot. Small image preview is fine by me. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think we have to style this. Only the author really sees it, so it's not for particularly the public consumption. But what we could format, and maybe for a different video, is inside this home that we can bring in some of these fields. These are stylized differently, and it would be nice if the rest of the forms around the site used a similar format. So we can try to bring something like that in, or just get this working. This doesn't work at the moment, so we'll need to go over how that works. But in this video, we are talking about bringing the blog up to speed, and I think it's passable now. Cool.